Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, the one and only Dynamite J. Andrews. Sitting beside me is not the one and only Mississippi Madman, not the one and only Logan Creed, but he is the one and only Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed.
That's right.
So if that gets difficult for you and confusing, blame him and those other guys. So, watching your wrestling lately?
Yeah, a little bit here, there, and yonder.
Here, there, and yonder. Was yonder in Pelahatchie?
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't here, huh?
Yeah,
so
that's where everybody gets stuck.
Yeah, the building with a mud bog, you know. So, we're 2 for 2 for having a tow truck called at the events in Pelahatchie. So
Yeah, I tried to push them out. That's all I can say.
yeah, and me too. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but at least they got some really good wrestling. And I think everybody there had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do a little special episode on that one, maybe run down that one and the next couple shows all at once. But I think the biggest news out there is Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
The
American Dragon. That was the other name I was looking for. Has been cleared to wrestle by WWE. He's been cleared by every doctor in the world but WWE's doctor. And
they finally did it.
I heard something interesting, and I don't know if it's true or not, but said that with his contract coming near, they figured, well, if we don't let him wrestle, he's going to go somewhere else.
He's going
to
somewhere. He was
so,
going to, yeah. The only thing that was preventing him was WWE.
Right.
How stupid is that?
I heard that after every match, he's going to have to go through the same test again or whatever. I don't know how true that is. You know, the internet, but
it's probably a lie. It's on the internet nowadays. Used to be it was true. It was on the internet.
Right. But I think that's really cool that he's allowed to come back. For whatever reason, you said that he was going to wrestle.
Well, it was kind of it looked like the build-up was going to be a tag match with him and Shane versus Kevin and Janera Zane.
Janera Zane.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what he comes back as. But didn't they get fired? Janera Zane.
Yeah, they got fired.
I got you. Yeah, I saw like somebody had said like, oh look, Kevin Steen is back to Kevin Owens is back to Kevin Steen on Twitter or whatever. So really making it official there.
El Generico just posted "Hola amigos" or something like that. So I don't speak Mexican, which I don't think he speaks very much.
He speaks Spanglish.
Spanglish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Spanglish. And then you said Shane McMahon had a hernia.
It's some kind of hernia from taking that power bomb on that screwy looking rack thing they bombed him on.
Was that a work or is that?
Nobody seems to know.
I got you.
And then he had an infection too that he had been hospitalized for.
Okay.
So who knows if it's working?
So we may or may not get to see a match.
You really don't know. But I mean, right now they're kind of put you in doubt. But WrestleMania is 2 weeks away.
Well, let's say let's fantasy book a little bit. Let's say if you had to say, okay, plans are scrapped, going to go somewhere else. Who would you just like to see as far as a matchup with Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan versus who at Mania?
Well, supposedly they're fired, but I was hoping for just him and Owens.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. I'd like to see him and AJ.
Yeah, but AJ's already got a match.
Yeah,
so
who cares? I said fantasy. Who wasn't? Does Jinder Mahal have a match?
Yeah, actually.
Does Baron Corbin have a match?
Yeah, actually.
Does I don't remember anybody else.
Wow,
I'm sorry. This is a wrestling podcast about the one wrestling promotion I don't watch.
which is the biggest one in the world.
I'm more of an underdog. Once you become successful, I mean, you don't need my support anymore. So I like to see Daniel Bryan versus Brian Danielson. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they are twin brothers, is what I've heard.
The American Dragon would come out in the mask and
be
be
special guest referee. Yeah. So could be a fun time. No, in all seriousness, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing like Cedric Alexander or like Drew Gulak versus Daniel Bryan. I know it's kind of a step backwards because 205, you know, and Daniel Bryan's 206, so he doesn't qualify.
205 Dive Live.
Yeah. So what it says is the 10th highest rated show on the network.
Which is dead last.
Is that what it is? So what's better than the 11th? So
like I said, that tree's bigger than that tree, but
there's trees over there. But either way, I mean, I think I think that could be cool. Is a Cedric Alexander Daniel Bryan match. I'm digging that. I mean, that's strictly for Max. I know, of course they could build it up if they wanted to. But yeah, like,
nothing.
hey, we're just gonna stick you out there with somebody to beat.
I remember they kind of did that one year. It was Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. Like they just had a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, no point.
No build up.
We just want a good match.
Just a good match. Yeah.
Right. So I think that'd do huge, huge things for Cedric.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like whoever wins the Andre Battle Royal gets to wrestle Daniel Bryan.
That'd be cool. Or he may just go on the Andre Battle Royal.
It would be awesome if he was like the first guy to enter the ring,
and
then he won. Since all the controversy that was surrounding the Royal Rumble that year, where we finally gave it to you. Quit crying. Yeah. He finally won a Battle Royal.
Shut up.
So,
it wasn't named Moolah.
Yeah.
So,
shh! Don't mention Moolah. That's a naughty word now. The internet has forbidden it.
Oh, damn.
You can't speak
I'm
it
in trouble
anymore.
when I say Moolah.
Yeah. Now I've got to put like some edit that out and put some asterisks in her name when I put it in the title.
They got a whole thing pulled one time because of the other guy's name. So yeah.
The title of this is going to be "Ego and Break." We do not discuss the M word. It's going to be the title. What do y'all think? Think it's a good title?
Or M Taker.
No.
I can't say him.
Can't say that either. Yeah. Nacho Taker. That's what it was.
Sure.
Neighbor Taker.
Yeah.
Speaking of neighbors, I thought this was awesome. I wish I could find an older gentleman to do a Mr. Rogers type manager.
They're supposed to do a documentary on Mr. Rogers.
And are they really? That's awesome. And be like the evil version. You got Mario and Wario, so like, why not like Mr. Dodgers or something? And he's like the evil version, but he's still got the sweaters and he talks. Hello neighbors, would you like to come into my house?
I think you already got Stardust.
Hey! Hello, neighbors. That's my worst British accent.
That was horrible.
We want to hear you become Stardust and invite people into your house.
Okay.
Come on, we need an impression there, Bruce Pritchard. Give us one.
I'm not Bruce Pritchard.
Well, I'm Conrad, so
The fuck?
just go with me here. So I need an impression of you being Stardust, inviting, pretending to be Mr. Rogers. Come on, you got to do it.
I don't even know if I can do British.
We'll just pretend.
Good day, yo chaps. I'm Sterdust. Won't you come into my house and see my dusty furniture?
And be my neighbor.
Oh, no.
We got to have the be my neighbor. Come on. Won't you be my neighbor? Come on. You did pretty good.
Won't you be my neighbor? That's horrible. Sorry, Stardust.
That's so over with me. So
horrible.
That's awesome.
It wasn't. Nothing about that was awesome. Oh my god.
Unofficial. So, that made the episode for me.
How the hell that even come?
Cut!
This ain't even right.
Oh man, this is
whole...
really great.
What?
We're gonna do a whole episode of just your impression of Stardust.
I don't think I've ever heard him say "Good day, old chaps."
I just want to hear him say, "Won't you be my neighbor?" Oh man, that's all.
Okay.
Speaking of Stardust, we'll put a little teaser out there. You got to witness something. I didn't get to witness it.
I still don't see how you didn't see it. You wasn't 20 feet away.
I was outside pushing cars.
Oh, was you?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Rumor has it that there was a confrontation between Marvelous Monty Warbucks and Stardust backstage at the last event.
Yes, it was.
Don't give nothing away, but if you had to rank it like a star system, like a 1 through 5, what do you rank it?
System?
Yeah, stir system, or stir search, or whatever. A stir rating. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna borrow from Meltzer and give it a 6.
A 6. It did take place in Tokyo.
It's a 6.
Tokyo Pillahatchee.
Yeah, Tokyo, Mississippi, Pillahatchee.
So
that was a lady with 6 teeth. So it was 6.
I can't wait to see it. I heard a lot of guys that did get to witness it say that it was very disturbing and very controversial and very entertaining.
I was entertained. I couldn't quit smiling.
So, and just another thing, I don't know if you saw this. Pro Wrestling EO, which is us, put out a clip that was sent to us by O'Shea Edwards of him kind of walking up on Big K, just staring at him for a second, and then said, "When you're ready, call me," or something very similar to that.
I like big guys walking up behind me talking about when I'm ready.
Breathing down your neck and stuff. Shh. When you're ready. So that may have been a bit disturbing as well. But it's just one of those things like what is this? You know what I mean? Like,
it's wrestling.
I mean, is he like, hey, when you're ready, I'll beat you up, or whenever you're ready, you can get these hands, or like,
I got something for you in these hands, boy. You had to see The Last Dragon, understand that?
I got you. I didn't see it. I saw the first dragon.
Yes, the glove. Yeah.
And I saw How to Train Your Dragon, and I saw a zombie dragon.
He showed enough.
He showed enough.
Yeah, showed enough.
So I know you watched a little bit of Ring of Honor. I watched some Ring of Honor. Not the same Ring of Honor that we watched.
Can I ask you a question real quick before we go into this?
Yeah.
If somebody can't throw a punch, should they just not throw a punch?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's kind of my theory too. 'Cause I watched a match that could have been good if they wouldn't have thrown a single punch.
Yeah. I saw a guy couldn't throw a punch, so he threw his head, and I enjoyed it. And I give a shout out to JD Jenkins because he was like, wham! he was throwing bows with O'Shea Edwards.
Yeah, I saw that match.
O'Shea was throwing the forearms and the elbows, and old JD Jenkins was just smoking him with his head. So it was a bit different for the this guy. He was headbutting him. Does that make it better? So get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, I wasn't even trying to go there.
So the headbutt and forearm trade off was kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's something you've seen as far as guys just throwing licks back and forth, but to lick someone with your head was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
But so
we'll be lucky this doesn't get thrown off YouTube too.
So I watched Axis put out part of the Honor Rising event that took place over in Japan, and two of the matches I watched was I watched a 6-man match, which was the Hung Bucks, Chuck Taylor, Jay White, and Yoshihashi, and that was a really good match. I was surprised because Adam Page, he actually pinned Jay White, who is the New Japan Americans champion or U.S. champion or whatever.
Yeah, they're pushing that dude pretty hard too.
So that was very cool. It was a really good match. And then a bit of an interesting match came next, which was Marty Scurll, the villain, and the American Nightmare Cody versus the Golden Lovers, which was Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. So you got a tease of Cody and Kenny facing off with each other.
More ways than one, from what I've been told.
Yeah, and you would think that maybe they would have teased it to where Cody would run from Kenny or whatever, but they didn't. Like, they battled it out several times. And it was very cool. And I think the most shocking moment, at least for Kota Ibushi, was when Cody planted a big kiss on him. Blam! Right away. You know, we talked about Brandy Rhodes kissing Kenny Omega. So now we got Cody kissing Kota Ibushi.
I'd rather kiss Brandy.
Me too. So, but I guess
sorry, Ibushi, you just don't do shit for me.
Yeah. So,
I like to watch you wrestle.
But it was good. Like, the match itself was really good. And then what was cool is Kenny was on the microphone saying that, you know, one of the first dreams he had coming to Japan was to be able to, him and Kota Ibushi, to take their tag team and be the greatest tag team in the world. And that brought out the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks just said, as of tonight, we had no problems with you. Like, you were still one of our guys. But for you to say that you and Kota are going to be the world's greatest tag team, now you're stepping on our toes. So we'll take this opportunity to let you know that from now on, we're moving up to the heavyweight ranks and get out of the junior heavyweight ranks in New Japan.
Don't you have to gain weight to do that?
They have. Yeah,
okay.
they've probably gained. They don't have 6-packs anymore. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that means you just don't do freaking crunches.
So, yeah, but theirs is starting to look like Jay Andrews.
Gotcha.
And if he had muscles before he got fat, and that makes a difference. But yeah, so Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers could be really awesome.
Is that going to be at the next pay-per-view there?
I have no idea. They just left it like that. So that was pretty cool. And the coolest part of the whole event was not just the fact that Ring of Honor's event was taking New Japan's spot on Access Television, which, you know, what does that mean down the road? Who knows? But the coolest part was you got to hear Jim Ross call Ring of Honor. That was probably the best part for me. Although I am a fan of the guys that are doing it now. I forgot his name. Never mind. Forget I was talking. Oh, Don Callis and Riccaboni. I think that's who did it. Maybe. I don't remember.
I don't remember his partner,
but either way,
I know it is Don Callis.
Yeah. Oh, Colt Cabana and Riccaboni is who does their TV.
Yeah, I like Colt. Colt's doing good.
Colt and them they do a really good job. But it was cool to hear JR finally call Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Like
Stone Cold. I'm sorry, wrong place.
Yeah. Switchblade. You know. Well, I think he was actually going, Golden Lovers. So, I've watched that, and then I'll tell you another thing I've been watching. Continental Wrestling Federation is a promotion that happened years and years and years ago in Alabama and Florida and Tennessee, Mississippi. I've been watching a lot of that, and Charlie Platt is probably the best, worst announcer I've ever heard. But by far, he is like one of my favorite commentators. He'll stumble through his words, and he'll get caught up, forget what he's saying and stuff. But he still has a delivery that makes you want to listen. Does that make sense? Like, not like, ooh, I want to see this guy run into a wall, kind of like NASCAR, but just like, he seems real. You know what I'm like? He seems passionate about it. So, check out that, man. And it's really good stuff. And I actually saw Jerry Stubbs, who is the former Mr. Olympia, but he goes by the name Mr. Perfect, Jerry Stubbs. And I never knew that. And so it got me thinking, like, well, which one came first? And this is like late 80s. So is he the original Mr. Perfect?
I don't know, because he wasn't Mr. Perfect in AWA.
Right, he was just Kurt Hennig. So,
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to dig into it and see. But I thought that was...
Well, I know he doesn't become Mr. Perfect to WWF.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Jerry Stubbs is by far not Mr. Perfect. I like Jerry Stubbs. Like, I always like Mr. Olympia, but he was stumbling through his promo. Like, he's kind of missing some hair up here. You know, like... Kurt Hennig definitely did the Mr. Perfect better.
Gotcha.
But it was just pretty cool to see that. You know,
his
that
mirror was broke. He just didn't know.
Yeah, maybe so. So what you started watching this week's episode of Ring of Honor?
Yeah, I've got to the first 3 matches, but I just didn't watch the final. I was just watching, and I realized, hell, I'm supposed to be late to lunch.
Yeah.
Well, it really wasn't a match. The first thing was a promo with Kingdom and Bully Ray. And basically, Bully Ray said, "You're not on the pay-per-view. We don't need you."
Wow.
So the next match, the first match was Kelly Klein versus Mandy Leon, and Kelly Klein's undefeated.
Was that for the Women of Honor title or whatever?
It's for the tournament thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kelly Klein's undefeated at Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Decent match, really decent. It's what I was asking about the punch thing earlier.
I got you.
But like, it was a good match, but I really wish neither one of them would ever throw a punch again.
Yeah.
But good match. I still say go watch it. Then it was Bullet Club, Paige and Marty Scurll. Marty comes out in a suit and never takes a suit off. The only thing he takes off is a jacket and his watch.
Wow.
And he's got a patch on his eye. I think he got his eye cut in Japan.
Okay.
And it was them versus the boys.
The boys.
And he got in. And each time he got in, he acted. I've just come here, and you know what I'm gonna do? And he turns around and tags out the Paige.
I'm gonna let Paige beat you guys up.
So he catches the hot tag at one point, and he jumps around. Chicken! No, I'm just gonna tag out. Like he never touches the boys.
Hot tag.
Like Paige had a handicap match.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this week's episode. I normally watch it Tuesday mornings, and I just got caught up watching some Continental.
But the main event is Flip versus Scorpion.
Scorpio Sky?
Yeah.
That's
And I
pretty cool.
I didn't get to watch it. I was fixing to, but like I said, I realized I would run out of time.
Yeah, did you see that Scorpio Sky was one of the trainers in the New Japan dojo over here? It was Shibata, who's the Time Splitters with Alex Shelley? What's the other guy's name? Dresses like Marty McFly.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I forget his name.
I'm bad with names. You know that. You got some wrong one about names.
Him and Scorpio Sky. They were the three trainers. So very cool to see Shibata in kind of an office role. With his split head, he can't really wrestle anymore. So it's pretty cool that they've kind of moved him into that kind of leader of the dojo kind of thing. So, or at least that's what I'm assuming since he was over here doing it. But that's cool. Shibata's like I'm definitely a Shibata guy. So very cool in that aspect. And if you hadn't watched any of the Continental Wrestling Federation, go watch them. Man, it's some really good stuff.
Where are you watching it?
YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to find. Like, you have to look for it, but like, you get to watch like the rise of the Armstrongs, Dixie Dynamite, who's Road Dogg and a Rebel Flag, almost a hybrid of like Daniel Bryan's like American Dragon and the Rebel Flag mask.
Was it Bryan?
Yeah, he's the youngest. And because I think he was under the mask because he wasn't old enough to be out there, maybe. But I could be wrong.
Else. I thought it was the other brother.
And like Jerry Stubbs and Adrian Street's there, and like this morning it was the Stud Stable, which is Jimmy Golden and Robert Fuller and Dr. Tom Pritchard and Brickhouse Brown and Downtown Bruno. Wow. But it had Kevin Sullivan on there as well, and I didn't realize Kevin Sullivan was in Alabama.
Yeah, I found this thing on YouTube. It's Kevin Sullivan. It's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. Like, I got it set to watch, but I'm planning on watching it today.
But yeah, it's really cool. They were just doing an angle where Tom Pritchard kissed Miss Linda, Adrian Street's valet or whatever. That's what they were upset about. Not that he slapped her like 5 times afterwards, but just the fact that he kissed. You could slap a woman, you just can't kiss her, you know.
Sexual assault's much worse than physical assault.
Yeah, I guess so. So that was pretty cool. I was just trying to remember some of the other stuff that I saw, but Sullivan was he had brought out the New Guinea Headhunters, which is kind of your Samoan savages type thing, and I didn't get to see them yet wrestle. I got to watch Brad Armstrong and Scott Armstrong.
Excuse me, Scott. So I thought Scott was Dixie. Okay.
No, you can tell it's he does like commentary on a lot of stuff too.
Well, I thought in Smoky Mountain when he pulled the mask off, I thought it was Scott.
He might have been by then.
Oh, okay, that's true. I guess it could technically gone through heads.
Yeah. So, but it's really good stuff, man. Like I say, Continental is one of my favorite things, and I just learned this over the weekend. They have a ton of shows where it's the road to Birmingham. They were building up to this really big event in Birmingham.
A path place, I know.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, the date they had scheduled was like April 1st or something like that, and it was a leap year. So when they got there, they couldn't get it because they had the wrong day. So like they built this whole, for months and months and months, they built this road to Birmingham all for the show not to happen because it was scheduled to happen on a day that wasn't there.
Wow, that's messed up.
And for after that, they would talk about the lethal leap year or whatever, and it's the show that didn't happen because it was a leap year. Talk about me doing some stuff.
Kidding.
That's a bait and switch right there.
Oh, hell no.
But I think maybe to make it to the fans, they started doing a mink coat tournament, and they did 17 tournaments. And basically what's happening is they have these boxes with the 8 wrestlers that's going to be in the tournament. And as you're coming in, the women were able to put their name in a box, whoever their favorite wrestler was. If that wrestler won the tournament, they would draw a name out of it, and that lady would win a mink coat. And they supposedly gave 17 coats away. And basically it's like just a gimmick to get people to their house shows.
You did that nowadays, Pete'd be all over your ass.
We'd have to give a false mink coat.
So it's like pleather.
But it's kind of a cool idea, like if you're going, especially with the television, they had TV, so they were able to build to these house shows. And back then, you had TV to get people to the house shows, not house shows to get people to TV. So it was really cool that, that's something they did,
I like the idea. You just couldn't do it now. Not real fur.
No. And then another one of the matches they would have was the Terra Dome Battle Royal.
Possum on a pole match.
Well, they didn't have that one. But you could bring a possum on a pole to the Terra Dome match because it was basically a street fight battle royal. You could come dressed any way you wanted to, bring anything you wanted to bring. If you wanted to bring a shotgun, you could bring a shotgun. Because somebody, I don't remember who it was, but
I want to have a ballerina street fight.
yeah, you do that. It was either Wildcat Wendell Cooley or Loverboy Dennis Condra. He was coming with his cowboy boots on, those dreaded cowboy boots.
Yeah, because they got thick soles.
And he was wearing spurs. So he was like, once I get you down, it's across your face. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I don't know if I find any of the Terra Dome Battle Royals on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to look for them. So
I did find that scaffold match, man, you were talking about. Scaffold match, not scaffold match. With a peonies.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
yes, it is.
It was awful.
Oh, I want to touch on something I heard Jim Cornette say.
Go right ahead.
All right, I'm a huge Jim Cornette manager, like as a manager fan, right?
Me too.
All right. The thing that happened with Sammy Callahan and Eddie Edwards.
Oh, the baseball bat.
Yeah, all right. He was like, this untrained piece of crap garbage wrestler, blah, blah, Sammy Callahan, doing a stunt that he had no idea what he was doing, how to do it, shouldn't have been doing it. It's guys like this that make it bad. I'd never do something like that, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of guys untrained, but he's just going off. And I'm like, aren't you the guy that blew out both knees jumping off a scaffold onto a guy that had no idea what to do? You had no idea. There was no way to know how to do anything.
Well, technically, on his part, Bubba was supposed to catch him.
But Bubba had never caught no, like that was his biggest thing was you shouldn't have been hitting a guy if you've never done this before, blah, blah, blah.
He
so
said
like,
Dusty told him, buddy, you're just going to fall down into his arms, baby. You're never going to even hit the mat.
But I was like, maybe if you would have done the scaffold match, falling, blowing your knees out, maybe Sammy Callahan would have never used a baseball bat on a chair. That's what it kills me. Like old timers, they just go at it. And don't get me wrong, it was horrible what happened. You know what I mean? And it could have been avoided in 10 different ways. But the fact to go out and just like eat a guy alive because something like that happened, and you've done things like that before where you've done a stunt that wasn't practiced by guys that never done things like that. You know what I mean? Like the things you're saying he did wrong was the same shit you did wrong.
I get it. I've been hitting the head with a bat on purpose. Fuck, all right. I've been on the opposite side of that switch.
So I mean, that just blew my mind, and I'm still a Jim Cornette fan. But I think it was just one of those things. Like, hey, here's a hot topic. Let's just bash it. Let's put the Jim Cornette dust on it.
I just said
and get whatever we can do.
I said the smartest thing they do is they're making money off of it.
Right, absolutely. Oh, and if you have not listened to the Sammy Callahan, Chris Jericho interview, holy smokes, it's good. So go look that up for sure. Like Jericho got like 4 words in. Like every time he'd say something, Sammy would cut him off.
I mean, Sammy said what he thought of Jim Cornette. He's like, you booked me 5 years ago. You know exactly who I am.
Right.
So,
But I think it's just one of those like, hey, it's hot, it's controversial. Let's.
Everybody talked about it.
Right. So same reason we talked about it. We just didn't get to 1 million views that Jim Cornette gets.
We got like 200 maybe.
Right. So.
Yay, 200.
Yay, the big 200. All our important folks. Thanks, 200 people that watched.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Could you tell a friend and share it around?
25
comment.
More friends.
Hey, just say. Just when you watch it, just say, hey, I'm here, or I watched this video.
Y'all gotta watch these 2 dumbasses talk about wrestling. That's what you just tell people.
Or say, you should see Madman's impersonation of Sterdust impersonating Mr. Rogers.
That's what pies and cakes and ice cream.
So
he's getting hit after WrestleMania.
Nah, I'm winning that.
I'd be damn.
I'm winning.
If I got to go there and kick somebody in the balls and make them win myself,
I'm gonna get hit with a cup full of dissolved water.
What?
That's what I'm getting hit with.
Air.
Exactly. Ow! It burns. That's what we get. So this has been Ego on Break. It's been a pretty good long Ego on Break.
I don't even know what the hell we talked about.
We didn't talk about anything but the M word. And so April 7th at the Hideaway, a big event going to be there. April 27th. I had the date wrong. I told y'all it was April 21st. It's not April 21st in Meridian. It's April 27th. That's a Friday night. And then May 19th at the Hideaway, Path to Pride 5. Big match thanks to Federated Wrestling. We're going to have a Federated title defense on that event. We're going to be releasing that in a few days. And also Hard Knocks has
April 21st.
April 21st. That's where I got it confused. So a big month in April for wrestling fans in the area. So check us out.
That's it.
Later, guys.